Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss, and today we're talking about The Accountant 2. The first movie was a surprise hit. It was weird, violent, surprisingly emotional, and it found a loyal audience. So after almost a decade of silence, we finally get a follow-up. In the first film, director Gavin O'Connor, who also directed Warrior and The Way Back, delivered this grounded but offbeat action drama with real emotional weight. At its core was Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, an autistic math genius raised like a Navy SEAL by his military hard-ass, abusive father. He's a loner who works with arms dealers and drug lords, but also takes out bad guys with stunning precision and speed. You'd think he was using Excel macros in real life. That movie ended up with a quiet but powerful climax. Christian and his estranged brother Braxton, Jon Bernthal, reunited after years apart, and all the plot threads of the living robotics scandals came together in this scene with no music, no flashy visuals, just two brothers scarred by childhood trauma, confronting the people they've become and understanding the missing puzzle pieces in their lives. It was so nuanced and personal, and it was unexpected in a movie called The Accountant. The Accountant 2 picks up a few years later. Raymond King, J.K. Simmons, now working as a private investigator, is on a case involving a missing Mexican family. He ends up meeting the mysterious and cold-blooded Anais, played by Daniella Pineda, in a scene that's starting to set up some impending danger. And it does, because about 2 minutes later, Raymond gets sniped in the street. But not before dramatically scrolling, "Find the accountant" on his arm. "Find Christian Wolff" is only one extra letter and might have been more helpful. Enter Christian Wolff, still living in his Airstream full of gold bars, cash, and gifted art collections. He has traded in heavy metal and strobing lights for quiet dinners with his usual eggs, bacon, and pancakes. He's contacted by Mary Beth Medina, Cynthia Addai-Robinson, who's now fully taken over Raymond's role at the Treasury Department. She needs help solving the mystery of the missing Mexican family, and when she asks why Christian agrees to help, Christian replies, "Because you asked," which is honestly kinda sweet. But it also feels like the script written by Bill Dubuque didn't feel like writing a better reason. Also, it's giving a lot of rom-com energy. "Because you asked." Like, if that line had a musical swell behind it, I'd think it was Notting Hill, the accountant cut. Now, if you loved The Accountant because it was a grounded action thriller that happened to be about trauma, math, and fraternal bonds, buckle up, because The Accountant 2 is very different. The mystery eventually leads Christian and Braxton to Mexico, where there's a massive human trafficking operation and a literal school bus full of endangered children. The white savior plot is all about killing the bad ones and saving the children. Bill Dubuque was not working hard here. There's also an entire tech operation being run by Justine, the non-verbal autistic girl Christian befriended in the first film, who turned out to be the British woman on the phone calls. But now the role has been recast, and she runs a team of child prodigy hackers like she's Professor X for gifted coders. We call this the sequel glow up. There's no explanation, it just is more advanced. And Anna Kendrick, gone. Not even a mention of her character Dana Cummings, which is a pretty big omission considering how central she was to Christian's emotional growth in the first film. Although the two had very little chemistry. And here's where the movie really loses its footing. There's no emotional anchor this time. In The Accountant, Christian's past intersected with the plot in a really meaningful way. His upbringing, his challenges, his guilt over his father's death, it all added weight. But here, the sequel tries to recreate that brotherly bond by forcing Christian and Braxton back together, even though they haven't seen each other since the first movie. And now they're more of an action comedy duo than two estranged siblings dealing with trauma. Don't get me wrong, Jon Bernthal absolutely carries this movie in terms of charisma. He plays Braxton like a man-child with a Glock and a heart of gold. He's so intense, and he's very insecure and weirdly lovable. Every time he's on screen, you feel like the movie wakes up. But there's no real journey for either brother. They're just kind of there, shooting guys, dropping one-liners, and acting smarmy and above the world. And let's talk about the title for a second. The actual accounting is pretty much gone. In the first film, there's an iconic scene where Christian breaks down years of transactions using colored markers on glass walls. It was like a math-powered action montage. It made finance look cinematic, which is insane when you think about it and showcase Christian's brilliant mind. In the sequel, not so much. There's a vague attempt at solving things, but Christian's real skills feel sidelined. We get a scene where he tries speed dating and rigs the algorithm to optimize his chances of meeting a compatible partner, which is funny, but once he opens his mouth, the women immediately check out. It's like watching a robot try to flirt using stock tips. So yes, The Accountant 2 gives us shootouts, but it forgets what made the first film stand out. The math guy actually doing math things in creative ways. That said, Gavin O'Connor's direction is still top tier in places. The early bar sequence where Raymond King meets an ace is a great example. It's a tightly choreographed scene with multiple moving parts, a bingo game, a back room, a shifting camera angles, and a creeping sense of danger. O'Connor's great at mapping physical space and letting the tension build organically. But then we get to the final act and Christian and Braxton find the bus of children and have a shootout that feels oddly lifeless. There's something off about the lighting and the staging. It honestly looks like a mix of rushed green screen and second unit footage. So where do we land with The Accountant 2? It's not a terrible movie. It's got moments of fun, it still has a unique tone, and Bernthal makes every scene he's in 10 times more engaging. Affleck too, still brings a fascinating stillness to Christian Wolff, but this sequel feels like it's traded heart for noise, traded logic for plot convenience, and worst of all, traded actual accounting for line dancing.
Get these ideas in your head, good for you! Let's get ourselves killed! I can feel them come.
Are you ready? Yeah.
That's my take on The Accountant 2. What did you think? Was it worth the wait, or should this franchise have closed the books after one? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and subscribe for more breakdowns of action movies, sequels, and whatever else Hollywood decides to reboot next. And hey, if your accountant ever tells you they solve crimes on the side, maybe just ask for a second opinion. See you next time.